Bang. I'm gonna put a timestamp down below. And so for now, I'm gonna put in the intro clip, 5 minutes long, before we get started, warm up. The trial video that we're gonna watch, it's an hour long. So I'm gonna put in the intro clip right now. Make sure you've used the restroom, go grab some snacks, get a drink, whatever. The other thing too, we might have hit 40,000 subscribers tonight. Let me double check. So if we have, that's pretty amazing. Amazing. Let me double check. Oh no, it still says 6 subs away on my dashboard, and hopefully you guys can hear me. Imagine I'm talking, you guys don't hear nothing. Okay, you hear me, good. Okay, 39,994. So we'll see if we can get the subs. By the way, I have to double check the chat too. Okay, we got the chat going. Boom. I don't see you live on YouTube. You should. We should be live on YouTube now. How you guys doing on YouTube? You see me? We're all good? Test chat. Testing. Jason. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, I'm gonna play the intro clip. We're gonna get started. Yo, you guys relax. Testing, good. And I appreciate the support, man. Please hit like, please subscribe if you wouldn't mind, so we can get to the 40K already. It's been taking way too long. If you support the channel, let's get it. Salud. Let's get to 40K, man. What's up? Welcome. Hope you guys are ready. Please like and share. Thanks, Jen. Thank you, Tio. I appreciate that. Thanks for the share. Please, guys, hit like, man. Let's get the thing up. Get it going, man. Twitter. Okay. Everything smooth? Everything look good? Good evening. How you guys doing? Hey, April, Julie. Thank you, Facebook, for coming through. YouTube's holding it down, man. YouTube, we got 91, almost 100. Let's get it up. People in here. More likes. Let's go. In a minute, I'm going to stop and look where we're at on GPS. Lady Snoop. Hey. Something out there. Hope you're doing well. Heard something. I'm going to pull out my GPS. See where we're at. Oh, shit. I'll pull up my notes. You're not going to believe this. We're actually going back towards the trail. We're not going up, we're going sideways. So we can just keep going this way, and I guess we're gonna have to just take the trail back because to go through what we don't know. Barely have notes. Here's something creepy for you guys. We thought we were going straight up north, like north. We thought we were going up this. There's something up here. I just heard something. Something's up here. Somebody, an animal or somebody's up here. So, yo, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate that, man. Tonight we're going to be talking about this. Well, not really talking. We're going to be watching the trial. It's an hour-long video. If you guys missed yesterday's video, definitely go check it out after this, the opening statements. I saw a trailer or two from the news clips. I haven't even watched this hour-long video because I went to go drop off Maddie. As I was dropping her off, I have to say special thanks to the person that put me on that it was released. Wendy, thank you so much for letting me know. I've been waiting all day long. I had a couple of messages when I woke up this morning of people looking for this, like, yo, did the thing come out? Can we watch it? Can we watch it? It's a crazy case from 2018, a double homicide, and this guy's representing himself. Killed his girlfriend and his daughter, autistic, non-speaking autistic, nonverbal autistic, and almost killed the son. And in this thing we're going to watch, he cross-examines his son, and there's more things that are going to come up. So we're going to hear that. We're going to see some of that. They're going to blur out, so we're not going to see the kid. But it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So, yo, yeah, please hit like, share. Let's get to 40K. We're at 4 subs away from 40K. Some of these clips that you guys seen, like I said, I'm working on a playlist. These are some of the stories that I covered that I went to an abandoned house where bodies were discarded, and I didn't know there was an abandoned house, and I walked inside. It was creepy as hell. I have a playlist of that. This is me out in the woods. This is me finding bones. This is with Layla Cavett. Just a couple of bunch of different stories. It was crazy. And then this is me at the museum and just whatever. So definitely check out my playlist. It's on my front page of YouTube. So let's move to get started, I guess. The chat's not showing up over here. Let's see. I'm gonna load up the video. Let me see. Why is the chat not showing over here? Oh, there we go. There we go. For some reason, it's not like synced or something. I did something and I messed. I thought I was gonna be cool and put like boxes for the chat, and I just messed up everything. And so now everything's like out of sync. But that's okay though. That's okay. What matters is the video and the content. So I downloaded the video and I rendered it and I fixed the audio a little bit, so hopefully it's a little better. It's pretty clear. I think it's this one. Yeah. Please raise your right hand. So okay. Okay, it looks like it's working. Good. I'm not sure why it's refreshing. Okay. So for now, the way we're going to watch it is going to be in this little box down here for now. There's nothing to see anyway. And throughout the video, I will switch it to maybe like a better full-size screen. Let me fix, maybe I can do this here. We'll put the chat box up there. That's just weird. It's not supposed to do this reset thing. Where's show messages? Oh, I think I know what it is. Properties. I'll have to figure it out later. But yeah, so we'll be here for now. The son at the time, let me pull up the court documents. I have it here. If you missed the video from yesterday, I suggest you go check it out. But at the time, he was 9 years old. I'm sorry. The daughter was 9 years old. The son, which his name is Ronnie, also was 8 years old. And Ronnie at the time was 29. Kenyatta was 33. This is the girlfriend. So, all right. So you guys ready? Let's get started. I'm going to mess around with the chat while we go to see if I can fix this weird thing that's going on. And, see? All right.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. You can put your hand down, and we are ready to proceed. Mr. Gale?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. How you doing?
Good.
Okay. And I can hear you nice and loud, and I know we can see each other, but I just want to make sure you understand that while you're testifying, I can see you, and I can see when you nod your head and when you shake your head no. But this young lady over here is our court reporter, and she's taking down everything we say. So if I ask you a question, you're answering yes or no, you need to answer out loud, okay? Yes or no?
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Can you tell us how old you are? When's your birthday?
So they had to take time to bleep out the stuff, but right now, this is Ronnie's son talking, okay? Double homicide 2018. I'm just going off the top of my head. I recommend you watch the first video after this if you haven't seen that first video. Check out the first video because we went through all, I can't do it again now, but we went through all the court documents, well, not all of them, but some of them, and it was very detailed. So go check out that video after this if you're confused or you're lost. But double homicide, and the surviving person was his son. And Ronnie's literally representing himself. And so today the son is speaking and he is representing himself, the father, and it's kind of a crazy situation. And supposedly too, later on, I hear that the judge commended Ronnie. Like, this guy, people are kind of looking at him, maybe looking at the hair, whatever, I get it. But the guy knows what he's talking about. I'm not giving him a pass or anything like that, but he knows, he seems to know his way around the courtroom and knows what he's talking about.
In a week or a couple weeks, you're going to be.
Yes.
Okay. What grade are you in?
Well, I'm gonna repeat this. So, basically, just.
You're getting ready to start grade over again?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite subject in school?
Science.
Science? What part of science do you like?
I like space.
Space?
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to do when you grow up?
Mostly like be an actor.
An actor?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Good ambition. Do you have a friend there with you on your right?
Yes.
All right, who's there with you?
Her name is Tibet.
Tibet? And what's Tibet? Is Tibet a dog?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of dog is Tibet? Do you know?
Golden Retriever.
Golden Retriever. Do you have any dogs at home?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of dogs do you have at home?
I have a Labradoodle. I have a Schnauzer. And then I don't know what the other one is.
Okay. And have you kind of become friends with Tibet over the last couple of years and gotten to know Tibet?
Yes.
Okay. You like having Tibet there with you today?
Yes.
Okay. And we talked about your name, and we introduced you as that's your name now, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you've been adopted, and you become part of the.
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 3 brothers and I have 2 sisters.
3 brothers and 2 sisters? So
Yes.
you got a big family now, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Was there a time when you were when your name was different, when you were known as?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know what we're here to talk about today?
Or should I say that again?
Do you know what we're here to talk about today?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the night when something bad happened to your mother and your sister?
Yes.
And was that about 3 years ago?
Yes.
So you would have been old at the time?
Yes.
Can you tell us what is the first thing you remember about that night? The first sign to you that something bad was going to happen?
Basically, I was sitting in my room and I saw my mom and my dad arguing in their room.
Were you awake or asleep?
Awake when I saw.
Okay, you were. Did something wake you up, or were you already awake and doing something?
Well, they were just like screaming at each other.
Okay, so you heard your mother and father screaming at each other?
Yes.
Okay, and what did you do? Did you get up and look to see what was happening?
Yes, and my mom told me to get back in my room.
Okay, and when you look out your bedroom door, can you see down? Were you able to see down in the bedroom where your mommy and daddy were?
Yes.
Okay, and tell us what you saw.
I just saw my dad holding a shotgun and my mom screaming at him, and they were just fighting.
Had you ever seen that shotgun before?
Yes.
Where have you seen the shotgun?
Under the bed.
Under what bed?
My parents' bed.
Under your parents' bed?
Yes.
Had you ever used the shotgun before, or had you ever seen your father use the shotgun before?
Yes.
Okay. So, you saw your mother and father arguing in the bedroom, and your father had a shotgun. What happened next? What did he do?
My mom ran into my sister's room. My mom ran in my sister's room into the closet.
And was your sister's room right next to yours?
Yes.
So your mother had to kind of run toward you?
Yes.
Did you see that happen?
See her run? Yes.
Okay. And when your mother ran into your sister's room, what did your father do? Did he go after her?
Yes.
And did he have the shotgun with him?
Yes.
And did he follow your mother into your sister's room?
Yes.
What was your sister's name? And can you tell us about?
She was autistic. Like she couldn't talk.
She was not able to talk?
No.
What about walking? Was she able to walk?
Like she struggled with it, but then she was able to walk again.
Okay. Did she have a wheelchair that she used sometimes too?
Yes.
All right. So what happened after I might have just asked you this, but just to clarify, when your father followed your mother into your sister's room, did he have the shotgun with him?
Yes.
And what did you do after that happened, after your father followed your mother into your sister's bedroom?
Well, I kind of sat in my room, and then my sister was sitting on the bed, like on her bed.
She was sitting up on the bed?
Yes.
Okay. And so she was awake when this happened?
Yes.
All right. And tell me what happened next.
And then my dad told me to walk around and say like some words.
And do you remember what words your father told you to say?
Allah Akbar.
Allahu Akbar?
Yes.
And he told you to walk around and say that?
Yes.
And did you do that?
Yes.
And where were you doing this, walking around and saying Allahu Akbar?
It was like you would walk like at the front door. You would walk in, and it was there. So like the living room.
Okay, so you went out to the living room and did this?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened next? What did you hear happen?
And then my dad said, "Come in here," and come kill this, the B word. And then I went in the room, and then he handed me the shotgun and like helped me shoot it.
And you went back into your sister's room?
Yes, because he said, come help me. Like, or, yeah.
Did you hear any shots from the shotgun before that?
Yes.
How many times?
One.
One time?
Yes.
So when you went back into your sister's bedroom, did your father hold the shotgun in your hands?
Yes, he was helping me.
So were you both kind of holding it at the same time?
Yes.
Do you remember whether the gun went off while you were holding it?
Hold on. I just want to take it back like 30 seconds. This is crazy and intense. And let me just say it's incredible that this child, he's standing up and testifying while his father is there too, representing himself. That's wow. There's grown adults that probably couldn't do that. And he's doing that, and he's doing that for his mother and his sister. And by the way, I haven't watched this video. Somebody sent it to me. This is from Tampa Bay 10. Thank you to them for posting this, and thank you to Wendy for sending me this. That's crazy. That's incredible, man. There's grown adults that probably couldn't go through this and go back and testify. So let me just take it back like 30 seconds because he made him hold the gun. Is that what he made him hold the shotgun? And in the 911 calls too, there's multiple reports of people saying that this guy, the biological father, Ronnie, was saying Allah Akbar, Allahu Akbar, however they say it. And he made like the mother say it too, I believe, like on the 911 call. And I guess he made him do it too. So let's hear this again.
Because he said, come help me. Like,
come help me.
Yeah.
Did you hear any shots from the shotgun before that?
Yes.
How many times?
One.
One time?
Yes.
So when you went back into your sister's bedroom, did your father hold the shotgun in your hands?
Yes, he was helping me.
So were you both kind of holding it at the same time?
Yes.
Do you remember whether the gun went off while you were holding it? Do you remember?
No, I do not.
Okay.
What did he say?
Remember?
No, I do not.
No, I do not. I think. Wow.
Do you ever remember any more gunshots from the shotgun other than the one that you just testified, or is one shot all you remember?
Yes.
Just the one shot?
Yeah.
Okay. Did your father ever ask you to go get anything for him?
Yes, he asked to get a knife from the garage.
From the garage?
Yes.
And did you go get a knife for him?
No, I couldn't find it.
You couldn't find a knife. Did he ask you to go get a specific knife or just any knife?
Like a hunting knife we used to use, like a hunting knife, I guess.
Okay. Was there a time when your mother was able to get out of the closet?
Yes. I was standing right by our house phone, and I just saw her, she was stumbling outside, and then I just saw my dad chase her.
So your mother stumbled past you going outside. Did she go out the front door?
Yes.
Can you tell us when she ran out the front door if she was hurt? Were you able to see whether or not she was hurt?
No, it was dark.
Okay, was she saying anything?
No, nothing that I remember.
Was your father chasing her?
Yes.
Did he still have the shotgun with him when he chased her out of the house?
Yes.
Was your father saying anything?
Saying anything? Nothing that I remember.
Okay. So when your mother and father both leave the house, what did you do then?
I was still standing by the house phone.
Still standing by the house phone?
Yes.
Do you ever remember going outside that night?
Yes, I remember walking, like walking, but not like.
I mean, and let me clarify the question, okay? After your mother and father, after your mother ran out of the house and your father chased her, did you go outside at that time?
No.
Okay. So could you hear anything of what was happening outside after your mother and father ran out of the house?
No,
Did your father come back in the house?
yes.
And can you tell us how long do you think he was gone? Was it a long time or just a minute, a couple minutes?
Like a minute, not really long.
Not really long, just like a minute?
Yes.
Okay. What happened when your father came back to the house?
He went into the. Actually, he went in the garage.
Did he do something to your sister?
Yes, he hit her with an axe in the head, and then in the back, and the back, and then the head, and then like I saw her eyes roll, and then there was blood everywhere.
Did you see where he got the axe from?
No, I did not.
Okay. Had you ever seen this axe before?
Yes.
Where was your sister when your father hit her with the axe?
She was in my parents' room.
How did your sister get into your parents' room?
He dragged her, dragged her into my parents' room.
And when you say he dragged her, or do you mean
Like he grabbed her into my parents' room.
your father grabbed her and dragged her into your parents' room?
Yes.
Can you describe kind of how he dragged her? Was it by one arm, by her legs? How did he do that?
Like just like one arm, like taking her to the room.
Was your sister awake when this happened?
Yes.
Okay. And was it in your parents' room where you saw him hit her with the axe?
Yes.
And where in the room did he hit her with the axe? Do you remember that?
So it was, you would walk in the door, and it was like, she was sitting like, she was sitting like right by the door, but like you could close it and she would still be in the room, but like, so she was like in the room basically, but like by the door.
Okay, so kind of just inside the bedroom,
Yes.
Your mother and father's bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. What do you remember happening next?
He hit her in the back in the axe, and then in the head, and then there was blood everywhere, and then he lighted something. He lighted something with the tissue and a match.
He lighted something with a tissue and a match?
Yes.
Do you remember your father ever having a can of gasoline?
Yes, he like spread it everywhere, and then he got the match and then he dropped it on the ground, and then it like all the fire up here.
Before he did that, did he cover your sister with anything?
Cover?
Did he put anything over top of your sister? Do you remember? You don't remember?
No.
Okay. But he started a fire in that room. Did he close the door?
I do not remember that. No.
Okay. What happened next?
And then he went in the garage, I followed him. And then he put me on the ground. He put me on the ground, and then he like had his foot on top. I was laying on my stomach. He had his foot on top of me, and he was holding me down. And he was like lighting a match. He was lighting a match with the tissue, and then he threw it down. And then
Do you remember your father pouring anything on you? Do you remember feeling anything wet on you?
no, but I remember actually before that he called someone, I don't know who, and he said, I just killed someone. I just killed this bee.
Okay. Did your family have a lawnmower?
Yes, we did.
Do you remember anything about the lawnmower that night? Your father doing anything with the lawnmower?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Do you ever remember your father cutting you or stabbing you with anything?
So when he tried to put me on the fire or whatever, he tried to light the match and put me on fire. I quickly ran up and went in the kitchen, and then I backed up. He like opened the drawer, and then I remember like my mind is like I wasn't understanding anything, and then I walked out the front door.
Okay, so you remember when he was holding you down with his foot, and after that you were able to get up and run into the kitchen?
Yes.
And you remember him going to the kitchen with a drawer in the kitchen?
Yes. The drawer in the kitchen, that what you said?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember getting burned at all?
No.
What do you remember about coming outside the house?
Just flashes everywhere, and I just remember going to someone and saying that my dad killed my mom, and then I got like a mask put on me, and then I don't remember anything from there.
Was there a lot of lights flashing and stuff when he came out of the house?
Yes.
After this happened, were you in the hospital for a little while?
Yes.
And do you remember how long you were in the hospital?
No, I didn't know.
Okay. And do you still have to see doctors for some of the injuries that you got that night?
What? Yes.
Yes. Do you have still some damage from the burns that you still have to have treated by doctors?
No, not really anymore.
Not really anymore?
No.
Okay. While you were in the hospital,
By the way, just a quick, this is still the very beginning. We're about 19 minutes in. For people that joined, thank you. Please share it if you don't mind. We covered the opening statements yesterday, so definitely go check out that video after if you haven't seen it. And right now, this is the son. It was a double homicide. This happened in 2018. Just a quick summarization. 2018, where allegedly, which I don't even know if I really need to say allegedly, but the father killed the mother and the daughter, and almost killed the son, and now he's testifying. Okay, at the time the son was, the age is real quick. At the time the son was 8. At the time, Ronnie was 9. The father was 29. Kenyatta, I believe is that her nickname is Keke, but Kenyatta, I think it says, she was 33. And what I wanted to show you really quickly too, which we covered this already. That's why it's important to subscribe, turn on notifications if you haven't. But the surviving sibling was examined by the child protection team. Records reflect that the child sustained multiple stab wounds to his neck, abdomen, chest, and extremities. And he suffered from burns on 30% of his body. Okay, just for the people kind of catching up, if you've never heard of this, just a little thing, but definitely check out yesterday's video if you haven't. So let me continue. Thank you, appreciate that.
do you remember ever having like a tube in your throat to help you breathe? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And after a couple of days, were they able to take the tube out when you could breathe on your own?
Yes.
Do you remember some detectives from the sheriff's office coming to the hospital and talking to you?
Yes.
And was that Detective Dirks? Do you remember Detective Dirks?
Yes.
Real big guy?
Yes.
Okay. And while you were in the hospital, were you able to talk to Detective Dirks and tell him what happened to you and your mom and your sister that night?
Yes.
Okay. And then kind of several months after this happened, did you get to meet the go live with the
Yes.
Okay, and is your daddy Mike? His first name is Richard, but is your daddy Mike?
Yes.
And does your daddy work for the sheriff's office? Is he a detective for the sheriff's office?
He's not a detective anymore. He's
That's right, he got promoted. He's a corporal now, isn't he?
yeah, corporal.
Okay. All right.
It's intense, man. It's incredible that he was able to testify against his own
just
father.
have a couple more questions for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, I want to go back. You testified that when your father dragged your sister into his room, him and your mom's room, and he hit with an axe.
Yes.
Was she on the floor when he did that?
Yes.
Okay, just inside the bedroom door?
Yes.
Was able to make any noises? Was she making any kind of noise while this was happening?
After the hit in the back, she like cried. She cried like she went, like she cried
Okay.
a little bit, and then hit her in the head.
And then he hit her in the head?
Yes.
And did she stop crying when he hit her in the head?
Yes.
Damn.
You said your father called somebody on the phone. What was he using, a cell phone?
Yes.
I have no further questions for Mr.
Okay, Mr. O'Neal, any questions?
He's gonna cross-examine his son. This is freaking nuts, crazy. So I believe that was the prosecutor, and so now he's representing himself, the father. I can't imagine. That's got to be so wild, crazy. Look at this shit.
Good.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Do you remember talking to some attorneys that came to see you? And they said that they were there on my behalf by the name of Jennifer Spradley and Carolyn Schindler.
What's the objection?
Improper impeachment.
I'm not impeaching.
Okay.
I'm asking questions.
Well, the question on the table is if he recalls the attorneys coming to see him. He can answer that question as far as yes or no, but then we'll see what the next question is. So you can go ahead and answer that question. Do you recall that event happening?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember doing things with me as far as things in the neighborhood and going to family events and things like that?
Objection, relevance.
I'm going to sustain the objection. So, Mr. O'Neal, your questions have to pertain to issues that were raised on direct examination, all right, as part of your cross-examination. So I have sustained the objection, so do not answer that question, okay? Next question, Mr. O'Neal.
So intense. I can't even believe this is
Do
happening.
you remember doing an interview with Detective Dirks?
Yes.
Did you guys go to basketball and football games and things like that together?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did you guys go to a Bucks game together?
Yes.
Did you guys talk about anything that happened that night?
No.
No. At any time, did he talk to you about those things and tell you what to say here today?
No.
Okay, quick FYI, which is important if you're new to the story. We just started this yesterday. The reason he's asking these questions is because I believe there was like a deputy. I guess they're talking about Deputy Dirk. He adopted his son. He's not on the case. That's what I hear. He's no longer on this case or anything like that. But that's why he's asking these questions, because he brought this up yesterday in the opening statements. You know, have they been talking to him? Have they been coercing him? All that kind of stuff. That's why this is going on, in case you don't know. That's why he's going along these questions. Now, as crazy and as horrible and evil as all this shit is, this guy is maneuvering himself in court. He seems to know what he's doing as far as that. It's crazy. But I guess he's trying to find like a conflict of interest or trying to find something. It was the Hillsborough County deputy, I believe. But it's got to be intimidating as hell. And I spoke to somebody yesterday that told me was the reason he wanted to represent himself, because he could intimidate the one person to survive. You know, I don't know. The other thing too is he was trying to go for self-defense, and he was trying to pull what I said yesterday, almost like a Chris Watts, where he was like trying to say, well, she tried to kill the kids, or she was trying to kill the kids, and so I reacted in self-defense. So I mean, keep going. I don't want to stop too much, but just so you guys know, whoever's not caught up.
What about your new dad, Richard?
No.
All right. Did you see me beat your mom?
No.
Did you see me shoot your mom?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Do you remember doing an interview with a woman named Jennifer Miller? Did you hear me? Jennifer Miller?
No, I do not remember.
Well, you did do an interview with her. And you told her.
Objection and cross impeachment.
What are you getting ready to ask him next?
About the question that I just asked.
Okay. Okay, so if he did the interview with Jennifer Miller? and
No, well, before that, about him seeing the shooting with his mom.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask that question then.
And he told Jennifer Miller something different.
What?
So I believe it's improper.
Well, you have to identify what record you're relying upon as far as the statement goes.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I was about to do that.
I know, but you have to identify for the record, so you need to give the state the heads up on what record you're going to be utilizing or relying upon.
Well, it's Jennifer Miller interview, page 24.
Right? Page 24 of what?
Line 15.
Is that from a deposition or from a report?
That's not from a report, it's from an interview. That was sort of a deposition from Jennifer Miller.
All right, State, do you know what Mr. O'Neal's referring to?
I believe this is a forensic interview, that occurred shortly after.
Okay, so go ahead.
Page 24, line 15. Do you remember telling her after she asked, she said, and then you said that there was a shooting outside and then in your sister's closet. And then she said, who was getting the shooting? And you said, my mom. And she said, your mom, okay. And did you see it happen or did you just hear it happen or something else? And you said, I heard it and saw it. Do you remember that?
Do you remember making that statement to
Like,
Miss Miller? Yeah, just answer yes, no, or I don't know.
like saying that my mom shot.
No, let me ask it again. You replied to Jennifer Miller's question. She asked you who was getting the shooting, and you said your mom. And she said, okay, did you see it? And you said, I heard it and saw it. Do you remember saying that to her?
No, I did not.
All right. But you did hear a shot that night. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when you heard that shot, where were you at that time?
Standing by the house phone.
All right.
I thought so too. So
Do you know where your mom was shot at? And what part of the body she was shot in? Do you know anything about that? Can you hear me fine?
You said where she was shot?
Yes, sir. Do you know where your mom was shot at?
No.
Deposition page 68.
Who Whose deposition?
Our deposition of Mr. Yes, with
Page and line, please.
page 66, line 19 to 22. Oh no, hold on. I'm sorry. Page 68, line 14. And hold on, one second. Get this right. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not a deposition. This is page 3.
From what?
Of 23, interview, second interview with Detective Dirks. Page 3 of 23, second interview with Detective Dirks.
All right, and what is the question?
Ma'am, just a moment.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Let the state find what you're referring to. Okay, you may proceed.
All right. And so you said you do not know where she was shot. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, did you know that you told Detective Dirks during your interview with him? You said that I shot her in the stomach.
When you say I shot her, you need to be a little more
Well,
specific.
You just said in the stomach. He asked you, where did your mom get shot? And you said, in the stomach. Do you remember that?
No, I do not.
Thank you, Magsby and Lena. Thank you for the super chat and the stars.
Now you said just a while ago that you did not see me shoot your mom or beat your mom. Is that correct?
Yes.
Page 28. Interview with Miss Miller. Miss Jennifer Miller. Do you remember telling Miss Jennifer Miller that you saw everything and I was outside? Do you remember that? She said to you, did you hear? Did you hear? No, she said, you did hear? Did you see what was happening or did you not? You said, I saw everything. And she said, you saw everything? How did you see everything? And you said, because I saw everything. And she said, where? Were you outside or were you inside or something else? And you said, I was outside. Do you remember that?
The question is, do you remember saying that to someone named Jennifer Miller?
Or do you remember saying that to Jennifer Miller, that you were outside and that you saw everything?
No.
All right.
This is tough, man. It's crazy.
And did you know in your deposition by my counselors, Jennifer Spradley and Carolyn Schimler,
Guys, he in line in the deposition. Mr. O'Neal.
page 103. Did you know that you told them that you never went outside with your mom before the police arrived? Do you remember telling them that? She asked you, she said, okay, so is your mommy ever inside of the house when anything is set on fire? And you said, no, she was outside. And she asked, okay, and are you ever with your mom outside the house? And you said, no. Do you remember telling her that?
Yes.
You do. Right? Did I hurt you that night of this incident?
Yes.
I did. And how did I hurt you?
You stabbed me.
Damn.
Second interview. Detective
Can you give
Dirks.
us a date of that interview? Date and time?
March 26, 2018. Don't remember the time, but it was official.
Who was the interview with, Mr. O'Neal?
The interview was with Detective Dirks,
Okay.
page 20 of 23.
Damn.
Do you remember telling Detective Dirks after he asked, did your dad hurt you the night that he hurt your sister? And you said, no, he didn't hurt me. Do you remember that?
No.
And you said just a while ago, I stabbed you with a knife, right?
Yes.
Detective Dirks, interview number 2, March 26, 2018, page 9 of 23. Do you remember telling Detective Dirks when he asked you, when did he hurt you with a knife? And you said, I don't know. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And then Detective Dirks asked you, was it the same night or was it before that? And you said, no, it was another day. Do you remember that?
Oh, sorry, repeat that again.
Detective Dirk says, was it the same night or was it before that? And you said to him, no, it was another day. And he said, and was that the same night you came to the hospital for all this or something else? And you said to him, something else. Do you remember that?
I don't understand.
All right, I'll pose the question again.
Well, do you recall telling Detective Dirks that? Yes, no, or I don't know?
Why I got hurt? Like,
No, he asked you, when did it happen? That night. He asked you, when did your dad stab you? And he said, was it that night or was it something else? And you replied, it was something else.
no, I do not remember saying that.
All right.
This was tough to do with a young kid. I'm not sure why they moved the camera back to this part, because, I mean, we can't see anything anyway. It's blurred out, but...
When you heard the gunshot that night, can you hear me?
Yes.
When you heard that gunshot that night, was your sister hurt already, or was she hurt after that shot?
She was hurt after that.
All right. Do you remember?
All right,
In
I'm
the
sorry.
interview-
Hold on one second, Mr. O'Neal, 1 second. So I just want to make sure, let's just take everybody, just take a moment. Let's stand up in the jury box and just stretch and get blood flowing. We're not taking a break, we're just taking a little stretch break, all right? Okay, very good, very good. All right, and Mr. You want to stand up, you can take a stretch break too. All right, very good. Let's continue on.
So I believe, like, the son's in another room, and they're just doing, like,
So
a video
you did
thing.
say that your sister was hurt after the shot, right?
Yes.
Right. You remember in the interview with Jennifer Miller, pages 34 and 35.
On another state? I don't know.
And also, well, let me just start with Jennifer Miller. You told her on page 34 and 35 said, was your sister hurt before or after the closet shooting? You said she was hurt before the closet shooting. Do you remember that?
No.
So he's, to me, just a quick interjection, but I won't go too long. To me, it's like he's trying to poke holes, it seems like. He said the son just previously answered. They both have the same name, I believe, Ronnie. But he previously answered that his sister was hurt after he heard the shot. And then now he's questioning him about, I guess, a previous interview. Well, how about before, when you said before the shot? But the thing is, like, he was at the time when this happened. He was 8, right? I think he's 11 now. He was 8. It's just so hard with kids, man. Like, you're asking them the time of events and details, and especially a traumatic situation. And, you know, kids, they might answer you differently, and it's not an intentional, malicious thing. And then you're being questioned by multiple people, and now to come back into court and you're being questioned by both sides and the time. I wouldn't even remember exactly the time or whatever of a traumatic incident, probably. And you said this, you said that, and did you speak to this? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, and maybe this is his plan. Maybe this is his plan. Who knows? Like, I saw somebody mention an appeal after, maybe, you know, I don't know. I mean, kudos to this child, man. Like I said, it's probably grown adults that couldn't do what he's doing. And he's literally facing his father now. I don't know if he's actually can see him. Somebody asked that question too. Like, can the son see the father? I don't know. I mean, obviously they hear each other, but can they see each other? I would think that maybe they shouldn't let him see him for intimidation reasons, you know, but I don't know. Even with my own daughter, sometimes when I just ask her what you ate at school, sometimes she might remember, a lot of times she doesn't, or she'll just give this generic response. Dad, I ate carrots and broccoli. I know that's not what they gave you today. You know, so it's just, I can't imagine for a kid having to recount the details and then going into court. It's got to be a whole bunch of pressure, you know? It's a horrible situation. And by the way, for the people that are joining and asking what's his defense, he was claiming self-defense. And he was trying to say that the girlfriend was trying to kill the kids. And so he reacted and killed her. I mean, it doesn't make too much, you know, whatever to me. But that's what he's trying to do. And they denied, I believe, his self-defense. He had, I believe what I read was he fired 2 public defenders. And then from what somebody commented, they said because they didn't want to go for self-defense because they didn't believe there was a self-defense thing, and that ended up getting dismissed. We talked about that on the first video. We went over the court document and stuff like that. But yeah, appreciate you guys joining. It's a little bit late. It's 10:30 right now Eastern. Let's keep going.
And do you remember telling Detective Dirks on page 19 of 23, March 26, 2018, he said, he asked you the same question. Was your sister hurt before your mom runs outside or after? And you said, after hurting his sister. No, here it is. You said after hurting your sister, then I hurt your mom and ran outside. Do you remember that?
No.
Duckin, thank you for the super chat. It says, Orale. Orale, like your content. Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
One second.
That's gotta be tough as well.
Remember telling Detective Dirks, same interview, page 20 of 23. He asked, can you hear me?
Yes.
He asked, so he hurt your sister first and then went outside? And you replied, no. Yeah, and pretty sure. Do you remember that?
Question is, do you recall telling Detective Dirks that statement?
No.
It's all right if you don't. Do what you don't.
All right, what is your next question, Mr. O'Neal?
Orfala, thank you for the super chat. Says thanks, Mel, because I haven't heard about this until yesterday. My first time was yesterday too, actually.
What do you remember happening after the shooting with your mom outside?
You coming back inside and you getting my sister and then putting her in my parents' room and then you hit her with an axe.
Jennifer Miller, page 29.
I'm gonna just rewind that for 1 second.
And then you coming back inside and you getting my sister and then putting her in my parents' room and then you hit her with an axe.
Jennifer Miller, page 29. Do you remember telling Miss Jennifer Miller in an interview? She asked, what happened after the shooting with your mom outside? And you said,
Hold on, what page of the Jennifer Miller interview, Mr. O'Neal?
page 29,
Okay.
line 12 through 15. And she asked you, I'm going to repeat the question. She asked you, what happened after the shooting with your mom outside? You replied, nothing. And she said, did anything happen to you? You said, no. Do you remember that?
No.
So, you just said a while ago that, hold on one second.
Dariana, thank you for the super chat. Blythe50, thank you. Joe P, thank you for
You
the.
just said a while ago that I came back in and took your sister from her room to your mom's room and hit her with an axe, right?
Yes.
Do you remember? In your deposition, page 99. Deposition, page 99, you told her, you said, when asked, where is your sister? Where was your sister when mom and dad ran outside? You replied, she was in my mom's room.
I don't see that on page 99, Counselor. You're still referring to page
Oh,
99.
that's page 100.
You know what's interesting too? First of all, if you guys haven't seen yesterday's video, before I end the stream, I'm going to put the link. Go check out yesterday's video that I did on this too, because we watched the opening statements, which was about 30 minutes from the father, and we went over the court documents, 2 of them that Flossie sent me, and I read over it. So if you're interested in the story, definitely go and check it out, because you can still go watch that and you're going to hear about information that wasn't talked about on this live stream.
Sorry, page 100. Did you hear the question, son?
Yes, I did.
By the way,
Do you remember telling my attorneys in your deposition when they asked, where is your sister when mom and dad ran outside? And you replied, she was in my mom's room. Do you remember that?
Okay, listen, again, the question is, Mr. Do you recall making that statement during your deposition? It's either yes, no, or I don't know. Don't interrupt me, Mr. O'Neal. Okay? So do you recall making that statement, Mr.
No.
I'm sorry. On page 99, you told them you don't remember when she went from her room to your mom's room. Do you remember making that statement?
No.
I'm going to link you guys the live stream from yesterday at the end.
You just said a while ago that I told you to go get some things. What did I tell you to go get?
A knife.
All right. Jennifer Miller, page 39. Do you remember telling Miss Jennifer Miller when she asked, did your dad ask you to bring him anything or tell you to go get anything? And you replied, no. Do you remember making that statement?
No.
said that I got some matches or some objects and lit some things on fire. Is that correct?
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, you just told Mr. Harmon here, or Mr. Gale, that you saw me sprinkle gasoline over your sister's body. Is that correct? Or you said that I sprayed gasoline everywhere. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Do you remember in the deposition page 105, do you remember telling my attorneys when they asked you, did you ever see your dad pouring gasoline anywhere in the house? And you replied, no. Do you remember making that statement?
No.
You said that I had my foot on you and went to strike you or strike a match and set you on fire. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you remember Jennifer Miller interview, page 36, 37? Telling Jennifer Miller after she asked, how did you get burned? And you said, I got burned because the fire came to me. Do you remember that statement?
Have to answer, do you recall making that statement to Jennifer Miller?
No.
And she asked you, hold on 1 second. She said, she asked you, Jennifer Miller asked you again, she said, how did it come to you? And you said, the fire went to me. And, no, pardon me, that was the line before. She said, how did it come to you? And you said, I don't know.
Do you recall making that statement to Jennifer Miller?
Yes.
And do you recall my attorneys asking you the same question? They said,
Page in line, Mr. O'Neal.
Page 30. Oh, I'm sorry. Page 104. Line 22 and 23. My attorneys asked you, they said, all right. Hold on 1 second. They said, how did you get burned? And you said, I have no idea.
This object to improper impeachment even today during his testimony. He should testify to how he got burned. So this is not impeachment.
All right, very good. I'm gonna, at this point in time, overrule the objection, but I do think that's how he's testified. So go ahead and answer the question, Mr. Do you recall making that statement or not at your deposition?
Do you remember making that statement?
Just have to answer the question. Do you recall making the statement? That's all.
No.
All right, thank you.
All right, very
Have a
good.
good one, all right?
All right, very good. It's time redirect examination. So, Mr. The state
Damn.
may have a couple of follow-up questions for you, and then we're done.
And the state has like a team, at least 2 people there.
Real quick, okay, and then you're all done with this, okay? That night when this happened, did you set the house on fire?
No.
Did you ever see your mom set the house on fire?
No.
How about she set the house on fire?
No.
Did you ever see your mom hit your sister that night with an axe or
No.
or a hatchet? No?
No.
Did you hit your sister that night with a hatchet? Would you have done something like that?
No.
Did you ever see anybody holding the shotgun other than your father and when he helped you hold it in that bedroom?
No.
This all happened back when you were years old, didn't it?
Yes.
Have you, over the last 3 years plus, have you had to talk to a lot of people about what happened that night?
Yes.
And last year, do you remember giving a deposition last year?
Yes.
Okay, and that's something that lasted all afternoon, didn't it?
Yes.
And you were asked a lot of questions about this in a lot of detail, weren't you?
Yes.
About things that happened when you were years old.
Yes.
And when you gave your interview to Detective Dirks, were you still laying in a hospital bed when that happened?
Yes.
And when you were laying in that hospital bed, did you have tubes in your arms and you were hooked up to some machines and stuff?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor. This
Okay.
witness may be released.
Wow. Wow. So that was kind of intense. This story, I covered it yesterday, completely random. It came across my feed and it just caught my attention. I guess the thumbnail and the guy kind of caught my attention. And I'm going to be following this. If they keep releasing clips, this is the second live stream. Let me make sure I put the link down below. I saw a clip today. I don't know if I could find it. Oh, Sugar and Spice, thank you for the super chat. She said, thank you for the stream again today. By the way, we streamed 3 times yesterday. Yesterday was pretty busy, and this was the first that we did today. I'm going to put the link. But I saw a clip where the judge commended the father and said like something about like he did a good job as far as like following the rules or representing himself. I don't know. To me, it seemed like the father was trying to. I would do open calls, but I think we're just because we're already at an hour and a half. I think for me and everybody else, let's get some good sleep tonight. We can revisit this tomorrow. But he's trying to poke holes, from my opinion. He's trying to poke holes. Thank you, Sugar and Spice. Yeah, we did hit 40K finally. It took forever. He's trying to poke some holes. This has got to be just so intense. I can't imagine for this kid. I saw the person Isaiah. I believe that Isaiah should be allowed to have his opinion. That's why I messaged somebody. I don't believe that this child is like lying or purposely trying or whatever. You guys want to do open call? Some people want to call in. Maybe we can call in. If there's trolls, I'll just hang it up and call it a night. But I could take some calls if people want to give their opinion a little bit. Maybe we could go another 30 minutes at the most. But no, the child. It's just you're talking to kids. You can't expect I don't know how this could. The interesting thing too is how could this affect if this guy tries to go and get an appeal after the fact. What this young man is doing is super, not even young man, I say he's a child. Brave. I can't imagine to stand up to your own father. But let me. Brave. I'm calling into the line. I'm gonna open up the line. We'll see if people want to call in, give a little bit of an opinion. The thing is, too, a lot of times with these streams, this is my first time watching this video that we watched together tonight. Oh Lord, Isaiah. I'm afraid to take that call. We could do it though. Let me put it through. I'm gonna open up the line. We'll see if it gets crazy. I'll just hang up and we'll call it a night. If people start calling in and trolling. I'm gonna call it in. Let me sign in over here. Hopefully they release something tomorrow so we can come back and watch. But I don't think anything will be coming out like during the morning or during the day. It's usually later in the evening. Start show. Okay, start show, yada yada. Okay. Okay, let me call in. Boom, 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 boom. If you guys want to call and give your thoughts, I mean, he's the main witness, but oh my god, I don't know how they could put somebody through this. And I almost wonder, can it hurt the case?
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting number and press pound.
Doing something like this, can it hurt the case? And by the way,
enter your 6-digit PIN number.
Have any of you guys ever served on jury duty? I did one case for a month here in Florida.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
Okay, so let me put the phone number out. I did a case, James Layritz. I don't know if you ever heard about it. It's from Florida. This baseball player. I was on it for a month. It was my first time going. I didn't think it was gonna be like that. Let me tell you, it's a whole different thing when you're sitting here on a computer. You're like me or like you, and we're watching something on TV or whatever, and you're having an opinion or whatever. And it's a whole different thing when you're sitting in court and you're seeing how these people pick through every single little detail. And if you have money, like this guy James Layritz, the defense, they go for everything, because it was a drunk driving incident where the other person passed away and died. These people literally went to, like, there was vitamin water in the car, and what is the amount of alcohol that's in vitamin water? The negligible amount of, there's like a negligible amount of alcohol. Like, they were calculating all this shit to try to figure out, did he have enough alcohol? And then they even talked about, because I think it was the guy James Layritz, he went to have pasta or dinner that night before he went out to the bar. I think it happened in Fort Lauderdale. And so, like, he went out to eat with his family and they had like pasta or something. And then they were trying to see how long does it take for alcohol to absorb when there's food in the body. Yo, if you have money, if you haven't sat in court, go for days, weeks, or months. Trust me, your mouth will drop as a juror. You'll be like, holy crap. So the phone number is, I'll type it in the chat, but it's 954-787-3009. I'll put it in the chat. And I'm not gonna argue or whatever. I'm just opening the line for people to express themselves if they want to call in. So here, let me put it in. 954-787-3009. Okay. And if you call wilding out on some troll stuff, I'm not talking about just Isaiah, just anybody. If you call acting ridiculous, I'm just gonna hang up the line and move it on. Okay, we got first person here, 786. I'm picking you up. You're up trying to pick it. There we go. 786, how you doing? Where you calling from? It's Isaiah. 786, can you hear me? Oh, they hung up. They got afraid. Maybe I hung up by accident. Call back 786 if that was you. Again, the phone number is 954-358-9076. If you have an opinion, want to give your thoughts. This is a case from 2018, man. Horrible thing that happened. Okay, we got a different one. 202. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Isaiah. How's it going? I'm calling
Hey,
from
Isaiah.
Washington, D.C.
Hey, welcome, man. Thank you for calling.
Of course. They're calling you trolls. I don't know why.
Well, go walk me through. What's your opinion? I mean, and they were talking about, because you're saying that the child is lying. I believe.
All right,
What's your thoughts
so
on that?
basically,
Hmm.
my opinion is I'm looking at it from both sides of the case. I'm looking at it from the state. The state is saying that he killed his mom, he killed the daughter, and he tried to attempt to kill the son. I'm also looking at his case. I mean, the son, he was 8 years old at the time, and from now until then, he basically his story switched up at least 5 times. Every time he asked a question about Jennifer, I don't know if you all noticed, but the son could never remember what he told Jennifer. And those are like I think that's very big in that case. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just
Right.
not biased on it,
Right. But do you think he's doing this maliciously, or you think he's a child
No,
and
no. I think I'm saying this. I do say he's a child, but I also know how the state works.
right?
Before the son came to testify today, he spoke with detectives, and I know he probably spoke with a detective this morning. I think the son was coerced. He was definitely coached for sure.
Okay.
It's not a. To me, I think he's coached. That's all. That's basically what I'm saying.
Okay. And do you know the
Yeah.
family at all? Are you like related or friends with them or anything like that? Or no, you just
Oh no! No. So basically, around March, this case happened in 2018 March. I basically was incarcerated at that time, so I followed this case basically through newspaper and on the news. You understand what I'm saying?
okay.
So this is not my first time
Okay.
basically hearing about this. I believe that the trial started this week, and it now started
Right.
posting on YouTube. But I've been basically following this case last year, just checking up on it, seeing when the trial was going to start. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I do think he's going to be found guilty because there's no jury in their mind not going to find this man guilty. But
Right.
I definitely feel as though he has grounds in appeals court. No questions asked. He has grounds in appeals court because in appeals court they go more so on facts and law. They go on law. If the kid switched his story about 3-4 times, they're going to use that in appeals court. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? They're not going to look at it like he was a kid 8 years old and his dad hurt him. They can't do that. In appeals court, it's all law. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Well, that's the only thing I was wondering too. I see what the follower's doing, and in court and all that stuff, and I didn't get, and I see the comments and everything. It's not about emotions and whatever. The court is just back and forth, the jury, and what
Of
you can
course.
prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And
Of course.
so,
Of course.
like what you're saying, I do kind of worry about if he does do the appeal thing and they go back, like, are they going to look at these different things? And again, yes, he's a child, and I'm not faulting him at all for that. But I do believe you should have your opinion too, even though
Of course.
people don't.
I feel, yeah, of course. Of course. I just feel, like, once again, I'm not biased. I feel as though it's very, very hard to stand up in a courtroom and represent yourself.
Do you think kids should
I
have to
don't
do
know,
that? Like, should kids be like being
but this, but this,
cross-examined?
but see, this is the thing. Once the kid spoke with detectives and the kid gave a statement right then and there, he has to come on the stand and basically testify what he told the detectives. I feel as though the dad is doing what I would do if I was in that predicament. I'm gonna definitely poke at your story. I
Mm,
wanna show inconsistencies. I wanna show that you told Jennifer one thing, but you told Derek this, and now you're telling me this. Basically, which story are you telling me is true? The dad is doing a great job of trying to make his son to not basically say he doesn't know what he saw. Because at one moment he said he was in the doorway and he saw his dad in the room with a shotgun and his mom. But then he also said at one point, I was outside and I heard the shots and I heard it. Then he said he saw it, but then he said he didn't see it. You understand what I'm
right.
saying?
No, I know what you're saying. The lady, Jennifer Miller, who is that? Like, I was trying to. Do you know at all? She's somebody that
So
spoke
so
to. Go
okay,
ahead.
so Jennifer Miller was once his attorney. So basically, she was like a private investigator for the attorney. Jennifer Miller went out and spoke with him. So
Okay.
basically, Jennifer Miller plays a big part in it because what you told Jennifer Miller, every question that he asked concerning Jennifer Miller, the kid said, I don't know. I don't remember. That's tough, but you can remember everything you told to Derek. You spoke to Derek before you spoke to Jennifer. How could you remember what you told Derek, but you can't remember what you told Jennifer? That's odd to me.
Mm. Well, one other thing too, I want to ask you because I know that. So, um, Ronnie's son was adopted by the detective on the case. I mean, how is it? It was somebody from the Hillsborough County, um,
So that right there is also going to play a big part in the appeals case.
Right.
Because
He's
that
not on,
right
he's
there,
not
he
on
could
the
be
case
coached.
though. He's not on the case, but
Nah,
somebody
he's
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Now go ahead. No,
He's
you good. Go ahead. I'm
he's
listening.
not on the case, but he is like in the police department or whatever. Like he was in the Hillsborough County or something like that. I believe, right?
Yes, yes, and to me, in the appeals court, that's not going to fly because that right there already shows bias. Basically, the dad asked, "Did Dirk take you out to a Bucks game? Did he ask you any questions?" Of course, the son said no. But knowing me, if I'm a detective and I'm trying to get down to the bottom of things, I'm gonna take you to the carnival. I'm gonna take you to an amusement park. And at the same time, I'm gonna slide in a few questions.
Right. Right.
I don't know. I mean, once again, like I say, it's a very, very messed up crime. I will say that with everyone.
It's disgusting.
At the same time, you know, I'm just looking at it. We're supposed to be proven innocent until proven guilty. Like I was once in that predicament, and you know, for some reason in America, it's the opposite: guilty and proven innocence. Right now, this man is in court trying to prove his innocence. So right now, he's already guilty. To be honest, you know,
right.
It's tough.
But thanks, man. I really appreciate your call. I mean, hey, you called in. I don't think you're a troll. I think you really feel how you feel, man. And you're somebody that's gone through the system yourself. So I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Of course, man. You have a great night, man.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
All right.
So, I totally understand the chat. I want to leave it open for people to talk like that and have whatever. I first thought too, maybe he was trolling, but I see what he's trying to say. I really kind of question, should kids even be cross-examined like that? That's got to be I couldn't even imagine. That's got to be hell of a lot of pressure, because you say one, and it happens to adults, right? You see in these cases where adults get cross-examined, you misspeak or you say whatever wrong thing by accident or whatever. Everything's documented, everything's written down. Oh, but this time you said this. And they're like, oh, and this time you said that. They trip up grown adults. So to have a child in a situation like that, I'm kind of like, and I at the same time, I understand, because he's like the surviving witness. And the father's poking holes to save himself and to, for whatever he believes. And like we said, I really wonder about the future. So I wanted to let him come through, man. Hey, he came through, he called. There's somebody else on the line. Let me take this 803. 803, how you doing? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from South Carolina.
Hi, how you doing? Who's this?
My name's A. Darian.
Oh, I saw you. I think on Facebook or YouTube commenting. I think, right?
YouTube. Yeah, I've been watching you for a while now, but I recently just started talking and watching your lives and stuff.
Oh, thanks.
I was trying to get Isaiah to explain why he would think that child is lying. Like, if you've never been around a child, like children, especially 8-year-olds, are not. I don't know. I don't want to say liars, but they're just not very steady with the facts of what happened in their day. Add on top of that a traumatic situation, and he was stabbed, and then he was on medicine in the hospital the first time the cops ever talked to him. See, Isaiah was saying that that he believes the child is lying and that the cops were feeding him information. Mm-hmm. So that's a whole different thing than saying innocent until proven guilty. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. No, yeah, definitely. So, I hear what you're saying. Do you think kids should be in this kind of situation where you're getting cross-examined? And the other thing too, it's recorded and it's all, it's being.
I think that maybe they should be able to talk in like a different setting, like a video or something like that, but definitely not live. I think it's too much pressure on a kid, especially a kid that has been through what he's been through. Right. Now, how is a kid going to say, Isaiah saying he changed his story? Well, did he say somebody else did it? No, he's always said his father did it. Now, if you're changing little things about what happened, this and that, well, yeah, it's a traumatic situation. You're on, whatever opiates they were giving this child from being stabbed,
True. That's a good point.
And the grief that he's going through. Mm-hmm. So, and I completely agree that you are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But I just don't think this kid is lying. Like, if he changed his story saying it was somebody else and then went back, like, why would the cops see this? Why would the cops want this guy to be in for it? And why would this kid at 8 years old all of a sudden go against his dad for some cops if the dad didn't do it? That was my thing with Isaiah.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I appreciate the call. And thank you for sharing that.
No problem. Thanks for taking it.
Thanks. All right. I'm gonna give some more thoughts, but thank you for the super chats. I appreciate it. Sean said, let me read it over here. Oh, refresh my screen. The kid was asked, did he hurt him? He said yes. Then he asked how. The kid said, you stabbed me. He did say you stabbed me. 8-year-old kid trauma. He did testify he saw his father use an axe on his sister's back and then her head, and her eyes rolled back. There was a couple of things that went back and forth. He did poke some holes, the father. Like I said, I really don't think it was intentional, with the child. The whole thing with, what was her name? Jill? I think Jill, or Jennifer Miller, I think. I believe at first he said he didn't remember speaking to her. And then he said he did. And he said there's things that he did catch, but I don't think it was intentional. Oh yeah, the other link. You're right. Let me do that. Tammy, you're right. I forgot about that. I did forget already. You gotta remind me. That's true. I don't know, man. I'm gonna be following. I think they're gonna find him probably guilty, just in opinion. But definitely, if you go into court, when you go to court as a juror, you're supposed to hear everything. You can't like walk in, and this is different. We're just online and we're talking and we're giving theories. It's not really the same thing, I don't think. But you're supposed to the very end, not really make you're supposed to take in all the details and then come to a conclusion. Let me put that in there. The James Layridge thing, that was intense. That was really intense, that case. And I know I walked away from there feeling like I wasn't really sure if I made the right decision or not. But I tell you what, when you have money and you have a good defense, I've never seen it's something to see it happen in front of you. I saw that and I was like, wow, they brought up everything that I would have never thought to bring up. Let me get off of here. Okay, so I'm hanging up the line too. But one more time, if anybody wants to call, 954-787-3009. If not, we'll call it so I can wake up early tomorrow. We can try to be productive. Maybe we'll come back. We'll be following the story. And yeah, definitely go check out yesterday's stream. I put the link in both places because you can see the cross-examination, and it was pretty wild too. If I could find that video where the judge commended this guy, he knows what he's doing in court. I'll say that. He knows what he's doing in court. And if you read this fatality thing, freaking horrible, man. And the place was literally on fire. Flossie sent me the video from 2018 where the place was like smoking. The place was on fire when the police arrived. Ronnie O'Neal. The only problem is when I start to cover too many stories, all the names start to mix up in my head. And I sometimes misspeak. Oh, I don't know if I could pull up that video from 2018. I think it's buried behind all the messages. Oh, we got one more caller. 954. Let me take this call. 954, how you doing? Where you calling from? Hi, who's this?
Good. Lydia.
Lydia, welcome. What are your thoughts?
How are you?
Good, pretty good.
I'm just a little like, I understand like what he was trying to do as a father, trying to poke holes in his son's testimony. I do feel like in the beginning when he was asking his son, do you remember when we did this? Do you remember when we did that? I feel like it was like witness intimidation. You know, it was like trying to stir up different emotions,
right?
And guilt from his son.
I agree with
that. And that was kind of like, especially as a child being cross-examined, I really do hope that his son didn't get to see his face, honestly.
Yeah, I hope so too, because I think that would be really, that'd be an added thing. But I almost think, like you said, I almost think like he was trying to bring him back through memory lane, maybe trying to bring up emotions and trying to
Right.
remind him of the good times or something before leading him into where he was
Yeah.
going.
Right. Definitely. So, I mean, I do agree. I think I agree with you. I think he's going to be found guilty. I actually think he'll probably get the death penalty, but like Isaiah said before, I think appeals, he might get that overturned and get life. I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
That's possible. Yeah.
And the only other thing that I will say is, if I understood correctly, there was like two psychologists that were trying to prove that he was what was it, like deemable to go to court or something like
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
he was
If he was like
sane.
competent or something.
And
Yeah,
what
yeah.
right. And I think two of them said that they weren't, or he
Yeah.
wasn't.
That's
That's
interesting.
another thing I feel like they might try to use in appeals.
That's very true. So for the people that haven't watched yesterday's video, it was in one of the articles towards the end where it stated that they had these, I guess, psychologists, psychiatrists, or whatever, to examine to make sure he could represent himself, and two of them said no. I guess this was back then, so I was kind of surprised that he still made it up to defend himself and represent himself. But he seems to be there,
Right. No, he definitely does.
and he's kind of like, he
But
seems kind of
then again,
calculated. He's looking through his notes. I mean, he makes a little bit of mistakes here and there. And the prosecutor, they have like two people there, or maybe even more.
no, and you're right. But the one thing I will say quickly before I go is it sounds very familiar, like the whole self-defense claim, the whole narcissistic just responses or even questioning, as to kind of like the Chris Watts case. I mean, that was Chris Watts' claim when he killed his wife and his two girls.
Right.
You know, she attacked the kids. This is why I killed her. This is why, and it went to show on later on as it progressed. It really wasn't that. I'm not saying that's what happened in this case, but I'm just saying it just kind of brings you back a few years ago to that case.
And the openings, did you watch yesterday's video, or the opening statements?
I watched a part of your video, and then I saw you
Okay.
were having a live, so I jumped on that one.
Okay. Because he was stating too, supposedly he was making these claims. I haven't looked, and I mean, I haven't had any really interest or thought to look into the mother, but he was claiming that she's the one that had domestic violence issue, like past. I mean, he has a criminal past too, I think, with marijuana and something else, driving without a license.
Okay.
But he was claiming that supposedly it was the girlfriend, the mother of the kids, that had this history of domestic violence, and that supposedly there was some issue because he has another child with somebody else, and that supposedly there was a problem going on between
was that
them.
child killed?
No,
right? That
No.
child was not involved in
no.
Mm.
But he was claiming they were fighting amongst each other and something was going on. I might have to go back and look it up. I might have to come up with a reference video and a timeline video just to put everything together so it's not so long, just a shorter video for people to go back and look at. But he was saying a lot of different things, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking
Yeah,
the
thank you.
call.
Appreciate the call. Take care.
You have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. One more call. Oh, I didn't even hang up. Sorry. That's awkward. 910. Let me take 910. I think this is the last call. 910. How you doing? Where you come from? Hi.
From New Jersey.
New Jersey. What's up? Who's this?
How you doing?
Good.
Win Gossip News.
Who's this?
I always be watching you.
Oh, okay.
Win Gossip News. I always
Okay.
watch you. But I ain't never comment. But this one was heated.
The father. of the
I don't know the law that well. I know the law. He was doing a prison lawyer. What did they say? When a lawyer for yourself is a fool. Okay, yeah. He poked holes through the story. He was a prison lawyer, so he poked holes through the story of his own child.
Right.
You get the first thing he said, Ali Akbar. So when the child was in the room, he wasn't really paying attention to him and his mom and daddy arguing. He don't know everything, but he know what you did.
Right.
So I feel like your accuser, so he accused his father of doing that to the whole house. So now you got now by him being his father, he was terrified. He probably was telling Miss Miller and all them, you know, like he probably was really scared. He was 8 years old, and my emotions got into this. Not the law right now.
Right, right.
By raising children, you know a kid. So that's why he fired his other lawyers, because he can still like terrify his child. Because
And what do you think? Let me ask you this question, and then and there's more people calling. A couple people called in. But let me ask you this: do you think kids should be, or depending on the age, should be being cross-examined in court, or...
No, but he was brave.
Right.
He
right.
faced his accuser.
Right.
That's all that matters. Anytime you face your accuser,
That's true.
that boy ain't lying. He not lying. Because that's how we going to look at it. So now, I don't know who the jury is up there, but they going to put some of their emotions in it. Because I did a jury. And sometimes I had to get off the case.
Right.
Because I put too much of my emotions in it. I don't know. I can't do this jury.
All right.
Because I don't want to do the swing back and forth like, oh, he right, he wrong, he wrong, he right.
Right, right.
It's a lot to be in a jury. When a big case like this,
it's pressure. It's pressure.
But to us, we know he's guilty. But now when it comes down to the law, we don't know.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate the call.
All right. Good night.
Thanks. Bye. And he's technically not guilty yet, just to cover myself. Let's take Isaiah. There's 3 other callers. I don't want to put out the number anymore because after this we should get off, I think. I don't remember. I don't know if it was 210 or 202. I think it was 202. Let me go with 202. And we'll keep moving to the next ones. 202, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Isaiah.
Hey, we go. Got it. Hey, what's up, man? I see the chat wanted you to call in.
They're asking. Yeah, they're asking what I was locked up for. So, you know, I'm going to keep it brief.
The web sleuths. All right,
go ahead. I'm going to keep it brief.
All right.
In 2006, I was accused of armed carjacking, armed robbery. Me and 2 other individuals, we were all 15, 16. And it came out that, you know, the victim said that one of these black males robbed me. He doesn't know we're all black. He said one of us robbed him. I came to court. My co-defendant said I was the one that pulled the gun out and robbed him, which I didn't, but I was there, but I didn't. So basically it came out. So I went to prison for 40 years at 16, never been locked up, nothing like that.
Wow.
Went to prison. And basically, I went to prison at 16. And the victim, he was an old Vietnam veteran. The only reason why I'm out of prison today because on his deathbed, he told his son and his daughters that I did not rob him. I was not the one that robbed him. That's the only reason why I'm free today. You know, so I believe in how people could be coached. I believe in how people could be swayed to say things in court. You understand what I'm saying?
All right. Did that person? Okay, you said on the deathbed, so she was alive. The victim was alive. They didn't die from that incident.
The victim was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the victim was alive, and his son recorded this moment of his dad saying that I did not rob him. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
At this time, I'm already on my 7th year. I'm like, wow, I got 40 years. I'm on my 7th year. And I get a letter in the mail from my lawyer saying, you wouldn't believe that the victim said that you didn't do it. My lawyer immediately put in a motion for me to come to court, and this video was played, and I was released. But it took 8 years of me not committing the crime. I'm not saying I wasn't there, but I didn't do none of the things that said I did. You understand what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So
Yeah. That's
it's a lot of innocent men in that same predicament in prison because people put them in those positions. People are coerced and coached.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely not impossible. I mean, we can't say that it's impossible for somebody to be coerced. But all right.
But you know, that's it. That's it. You know, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that experience.
Of course, man.
All right, take care. All right. Hey. Wow. Let me take these 2 other callers. 210. How you doing, 210? Where you calling from? Who is this?
I am calling from San Antonio, Texas. This is Alicia Thornton. How are you?
Hi, good. Thanks for calling.
Not a problem. I've been watching this. I watched the first one actually before I came upon you. And oh my goodness. My main concern right now is for the quality of life for the son.
Mm.
How many times was the son stabbed? 9?
That I don't know. I have the fatality report here. Let me see. I don't know if did they say during this thing. Let's see. They said he had multiple stab wounds. I don't know if they ever said an exact count, but from the document I'm looking at, they said multiple stab wounds to his neck, abdomen, chest, and extremities, and he suffered burns 30% of his body.
Okay. Yes, 210 Alamo City on the line. Thank you.
What?
I have concerns for the son now because the fact that we don't know if he's on any kind of medication since. Okay, so we don't know. I noticed that with his answers, it seemed like he was getting a little bit confused.
Right. It's tough, yeah.
So, I mean, you know, whatever, if he's on any kind of medication, we don't know if he's still suffering from this catastrophe he went through to know if, I mean, yeah, people are asking if the father was able to, you know, represent himself, but also what about the son? And how dare you put his son there and say, yeah, you're the one that stabbed me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just have a huge issue with a child, and we don't know for sure if the child was actually in the room or in a different room. Correct?
From what I heard, it seemed like there was 2 accounts. One account said that he was there, and then the other one said that he just heard the shot. He was in the house, but that he heard the shot. Me, like I was trying to say earlier, I would have to go and re-listen because it's one thing when I'm running a live stream and there's audio playing and I'm managing comments and doing this and that, I miss a lot. So I would need to go listen. A lot of times too, when I have conversations with people, I'll go back and listen to the conversation because it's one thing to be trying to listen and absorb, and it's another thing to go back and catch notes and write things down. But to me, there was different accounts. I don't believe that's lying because to me, lying would be like would have to be like intentional. There could be so many factors to it. Multiple people questioning him.
Yes,
I mean, this
exactly.
was from 2018. This is a long time ago. Was he on medication in the hospital, pain medication? And it could be so many things. So I wouldn't say that he's lying.
Exactly.
Because lying would have to be intentional.
No. I'm not saying the child is lying.
Right.
I'm saying that the child may not be able to have the whole truth there only
Right.
because of the fact that the medication is doing this to the child. No, I'm definitely not saying that. This poor boy is testifying against his father.
Yeah, he could be afraid too. Who knows? He could be afraid. That's gotta.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's just so many things that it could be.
There's so many factors in this that you know. I pray to God that the child isn't on medication, but he's going to have to live with this for the rest of his entire life.
Oh yeah.
How is this going to factor into him growing up, and what kind of person is he going to be, regardless on if he was adopted or not? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you carry on, especially through adoption, when you're at that age, you carry those past instances that have happened in your life. And I'm scared for the child. That's all.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. You have a good night,
You
sir.
too. Thanks.
Bye.
And that was the last call. To me, like I said, I want to keep an open mind. I'm gonna hang up the thing here too. I want to keep an open mind because there's gonna be a lot more coming. I don't believe the guy, in my opinion. From what I've seen so far, I don't believe he's innocent. But it seems like what he's doing is poking holes. Somebody said too, why are we, let me see. Somebody said, and I want to get off soon too, because we should all go to bed, get some good sleep, wake up refreshed for the day. But somebody said, about why are we questioning if he was that? I can't even find that anymore. It was somewhere. We were talking about when the father asked the son. The father's trying to claim that he did all this in self-defense, which I don't know how you could do that. Two people, the mother's dead, the daughter's dead, and the son was almost dead. How's that? He's trying to claim that the mother went to go kill the kids, and so then he in turn killed the mother. That's why this, the son is kind of important in this, even if there's some things that are a little bit, were you here, were you there, whatever, he heard the shot, and he clearly said his father stabbed him. So, and you know what? One final thing too before we get off too, the father being the person that's representing himself, maybe the prosecutor saw it as a good thing. Even though he seems to be knowledgeable and maneuvering himself in the courtroom, he doesn't probably have the experience that somebody that does that all the time does. And so maybe for the prosecutors, they find this as an advantage to get the charges that they're trying to go for. It could be in a positive thing too, as horrible, as things are. Did you play the judge video? I honestly don't even know where that video is at. Let me see if I could. Somebody sent me. Let me see. Let's see if it's here. I'll end off on this if this has it.
Hi, I am.
And I don't remember which one it is, so I don't want to have to.
8 when he said his father attacked him after murdering his mom and 9-year-old sister. He bravely faced his father again today. We want to get straight to Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer at the Hillsborough County Courthouse. And Aaron, he testified a short time ago. What did he say?
I don't know why fire either. If you watched, definitely go watch the first live stream, but I pulled up the video. You could see the house in the area. There was smoke all over the place at that time.
Well, Matt, first of all, this was just gut-wrenching, heartbreaking. I mean, you can fill in any number of words here. To listen to this little boy describe that horrific night that his family was killed and he barely survived. The state had him walk jurors through what he remembers. This little boy's name is also Ronnie, although he now has a different last name, and he testified remotely this morning. His father, Ronnie O'Neal III, is accused of brutally murdering his girlfriend, Kenyatta Barron, and his 9-year-old daughter, Ronivia, in Riverview, at the Riverview home back in 2018. Investigators have said he shot Kenyatta and beat her with a shotgun, used a hatchet to stab his daughter repeatedly, and then stabbed his young son before lighting the boy and their house on fire. Little Ronnie was 8 at the time. He's now 11 years old. What you're about to hear is the younger Ronnie detail how what prosecutors described as his father's murderous rampage began that night.
I just saw my dad holding a shotgun and my mom screaming at him.
So you saw your mother and father arguing in the bedroom, and your father had a shotgun. What happened next? What did he do?
My mom ran to my sister's room. My mom ran in my sister's room into the closet. And then my dad said, "Come in here and come kill the B-word."
Did you hear any shots from the shotgun before that?
Yes.
How many times?
1.
The little boy goes on to explain how he witnessed his father kill his sister. Meanwhile, Ronnie O'Neal, who's acting as his own defense attorney, got the chance to cross-examine his son, and he appeared to be pointing out that his son's comments during testimony today conflicted with what he told detectives and attorneys at the time of the incident and then in the years that have followed between then and today. Now, the judge also commended Ronnie O'Neal on...
This is the video that we're talking about. So the judge commended Ronnie O'Neal.
Followed between then and today. Now, the judge also commended Ronnie O'Neal on how he conducted himself. In court today, he said that that she is going to put on the record, the judge is going to put on the record that Ronnie O'Neal seemed to be more than competent to defend himself in court based on how he acted today. And Matt, we didn't know exactly what to expect going into this trial and going into the third day of the trial when these two would be facing off during today's testimony, based on how Ronnie O'Neal acted Monday when he shouted at jurors during his opening testimony. But again, the judge commended him on how he acted today. But there's still a lot more here to play out throughout the remainder of today, and we'll have some more later on this evening.
The whole kid question is kind of Candy says kids go on the stand all the time. The thing is too, it's like with some cases, if that's the thing that's going to be the deciding factor for justice, it's kind of hard to say no, I guess, right? I mean, I don't know. Should there be policy and procedure how to go about it? I'm sure there is. Flossie resent me the link. Thank you. This was from 2018, the murder scene, or the outside of the house. So we can take a look at that too before we get out of here. We played this yesterday on the live stream. It's only like 2 minutes long, 3 minutes, so we can check it out.
Someone's getting arrested right now.
He ends up getting tased too, I thought. Oh, he got back up. He got back up. That's what they were saying in the article in the news reports. That's the best quality for that video, by the way. Can't get it any better. But he looks like he got back up, and I guess at this point he gets tased. Let me see. Yeah, he's just walking. He's like, F it.
They just tased him.
It's him being tased. And it looks like, I don't know if that's just glare, but it looks like there's smoke too. That could have been from the house. They were talking about that all the lights were off, but there was this one glare. We talked about this on the other stream, and they said I believe it was like a fire, hence the burns and stuff.
Get your head behind your back. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Get on your stomach. Do it now. Get on your stomach. Hey, Cap. Trauma alert for pediatrics right here. Gunshot to the chest.
Gunshot to the chest.
Responding, doing a tank kill. Is it 2286? Point 12, I'll say responding to the structure fire. Be advised, that's an active crime scene at this time. They're going to be over on TAC 5 for command. 9-year-old pediatric GSW patient, Aeromed's going to be inbound.
9-year-old was shot.
Fire got you at 2 engines up for point 12 and engine 29. Please advise if you need additional units for an LZ. For the LC control. Roger.
That was from 2018. So yeah, definitely we're gonna end the live stream here. I'm gonna post the link one more time. Go check out yesterday's live stream if you'd like. It's the opening statements, but if you already saw the opening statement, you can skip past that and you can listen to me read some of the court documents, and it goes through the events of what they believe happened. So I'll share that link one more time, and then we'll get out of here. Thank you guys for joining tonight. I appreciate it, man. Oh, and that stream too, we talk about the 911 calls. I've never heard the entire 911 call. There's clips online where they play like a part of it, but in yesterday's stream we talked about the contents of the 911 call. There's like timestamps and kind of go over some of the conversations. So is there a GoFundMe for the little boy? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I'll look into it. If I can find anything, I'll definitely post it when we come back and cover it again. But I haven't seen anything as far as a GoFundMe. and I believe he's being taken care of. But yeah, thank you guys. Have a good night, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Please, if you wouldn't mind, hit like on the way out, share, turn on the bell with notifications. And when you turn on notifications on YouTube and Facebook, like, you have to hit all, or else you're gonna see the videos sometimes, not all the time. So thank you, Tracy. I appreciate the stars. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I'd appreciate that too, right? So you guys have a good night, man. Take care. Peace. Peace. Good night.